to the Coast to Coast podcast brought to you by the Lines and Play Picks, coming to you from the West Coast. Josh Lander, as always, joined by my counterpart on the East Coast, Nate Weitzer. Another great article on playpicks.com for you guys with a nice 8-game NBA slate tonight. We did have a gift card opportunity on Friday, Nate. Nobody was able to guess that the King, LeBron, would only score a combined 31 points, rebounds, and assists in that game, despite the Lakers winning. So we're going to offer up another one today. Make sure you are liked and subscribe on the page, and then jump in the comments with that total as we'll give it to you. And as always, if you need a FanDuel or a DraftKings account, head over to fdpicks.com or dkpicks.com and get in on those local listings. Nate, let's get into the slate for tonight, March the 15th.
Lot to choose from tonight. A lot to choose from, let me tell you. Starting with the Kings, plus 3.5 at the Hornets. The Bucks are -8 at the Wizards. Intriguing total there to consider. The Knicks are +8, missing 2 starting guards at the Nets. No KD still. The Spurs are going to be shorthanded as they hold out LaMarcus Aldridge, DeMar DeRozan likely as well. -3 at Pistons. The Clippers, after a big loss, -1.5 at Mavericks. Pacers, who just got Karis LeVert back, +4.5 at Nuggets. The Grizzlies +7 at Suns. And then the Lakers -2 some places at Warriors. So, Josh, out of all that, what is your best bet?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because Karis LeVert is back. I'm super happy about it as an NBA fan. I mean, not only do I would love to see that guy with the opportunity to sort of have an offense more in his control now, I also just, love the Pacers as a team and know that they need that scoring wing that they've been missing without TJ Warren since Oladipo's gone, and now LeVert is finally back on the court for them. So I'm a little bit more scared of that 4.5, 5.5 spread, depending where you see the Nuggets listed over the Pacers at home, more so than I would be if LeVert was not playing. But Indy still obviously has been really bad against winning teams this year. We know they're 1-9 against the spread. They also are very bad against Denver in Denver. They've lost their last 11 of their last 12 in Denver. And in terms of the road this season, they're also just a much different team. They've lost 7 of their last 8 road games as well. I think I'm going to stick with Denver in terms of trying to find that money line value rather than even worry about the spread. They're 10-5 straight up on the second leg of a back-to-back just following a loss rather this season. They're getting Millsap back. They're getting JaMychal Green back, so they're a lot healthier as well. And look, like I said, if you like the money line and you want to still find some plus odds, Jokic double-double and a win for the Nuggets is +112. He's a walking double-double this season, so I feel pretty good about that, plus the ability to get plus odds on a money line bet for the Nuggets at home against the Pacers.
Yeah, I would go that route for sure because I think the Pacers are going to start to come around. It might take a few games for Karis LeVert to get his footing back before they really hit that other stride. But even before that, they were getting some really balanced scoring from their entire starting lineup, starting to figure things out where they don't just have to play through Brogdon and Domantas Sabonis. And yeah, if you can balance it out against the Nuggets team that still struggles defensively at times, missing that changeable defender in Jeremy Grant, they're playing Michael Porter Jr. more, right? And he's got 21 plus in 3 straight, including a hot shooting night against these Pacers. So that's also a prop to consider. One of those bonuses, right? Michael Porter Jr., 15 plus points, gets you +140 odds. The Nuggets aren't really going to win without his scoring. So I like that one. And I'm considering the over here because more MPJ minutes means more points for both teams.
Yep.
And Karis LeVert is a bucket. He might only play 25 minutes, but he'll probably get you 20 points in those minutes. So I do like the over there. One of my most confident bets tonight is those Lakers. I'm kind of surprised to just see -2 at Warriors. I guess Golden State getting a bump after beating the Jazz last night, but we've seen the Jazz kind of slide into the All-Star break. We kind of expect some regression from them in the second half. That was kind of an all things clicked for the Warriors last night, and they have not traditionally been that strong on back-to-backs. They're 3-4 on no days of rest, while the Lakers haven't played since Thursday, and they're straight 6-0 with a rest advantage this season. Not surprising when you think about what they've gone through. And they're 12-3 straight up when listed as a road favorite. They generally turn up on the road against Western Conference opponents. Remember, they won like 10 straight last year against their conference on the road. Just some incredible leadership there. And they handled the Warriors 2 weeks ago after the Warriors came back for that really unlikely win early in the season. Lakers delivered a statement, held them to 23% from three. Kent Bazemore was basically the only one besides Steph to manage a three, which is just not good. I mean, the Warriors they just don't often step up against good teams. They're 5-4 against the spread when a home underdog, and just 10-17 straight up against winning
Yeah.
teams. I feel confident backing the defending champs against them.
Yeah, the recent history is in your favor for sure. Since the Warriors lost KD, and the Lakers have had LeBron James on their team, right? That they won 4 of their last 5, the Lakers against the Warriors, and really that comeback, that one win for the Dubs was that fluke as they were down a ton, and then fluke. Steph went off, and you could look for him to do something similar again. He does play well on the second half of a back-to-back. But overall, yeah, I think that you like the Lakers' chances against the Warriors, especially with that recent history and LeBron just owning that matchup. So, one game I feel even a little bit more comfortable about that one than Nate is what I'm going to call my Charlotte Hornets at this point. I think they've become a little bit of the darling of the league, to be honest with you. And now that they're back to full strength with Gordon Hayward and everybody playing, as well as LaMelo starting, they're a pretty good bet tonight against the Kings at home. They beat the Kings by 1 recently on the road, and they've won 4 of their last 5 overall. This season at home, they're also just a much better team. One thing I'm looking at there is potentially the under. Both of these teams have been scoring a lot of points recently, but the Hornets give up the 7th least amount of points at home, 108 points per game, which is really, really good. The over has hit 7 of 17 games at home this year, so it's more often the under there. And really, if you like the spread as well, about 3.5 right now, which I really, really do for Charlotte at home. You can also look at how well LaMelo is playing right now since he's come into the starting lineup. 21.6 boards, 7 assists a game. On 46% from the field, 43 from 3-point land. So I'm really liking what they've been able to do recently, and SAC, honestly, they failed to cover the spread in 12 of their last 15 games. They've been an incredibly streaky team this year, starting out poorly, then going on a nice 10-game streak, and then right back to where they've been most of the season. I think that's about their mean where they've regressed to. 7 of their last 10 overall. So they're reeling, and the Charlotte Hornets are on the complete opposite trend. So I really like them at home tonight.
Yeah, I like both your picks, and I would consider throwing the money line and under into a parlay, get yourself plus 200 odds there. I think Charlotte, can take advantage of the Kings' struggles on the road to win and to keep that under a huge total at 239. That's what we see a lot at Kings games, that kind of total, but not usually when they're on the road. So I do like attacking that. The Mavericks have been going under lately all the time, right? I think that trend is exploitable tonight as they face a Clippers team that has been really back and forth. We've seen a couple times that they just take an L on the front end of a back-to-back. They're just like, yeah, you know what, we'll play for another day. And then they're 6-0 after that front end of the back-to-back. And those games after a loss in general, they're 9-4 against the over. They're 20-11 against the over out of the division. They don't have Patrick Beverley, which has helped their last 4 games go over. Serge Ibaka tweaked his back last night. That's going to be key to trying to stop Luka down low, Porzingis getting hot down low. They're giving up 27 free throw attempts per game. They gave up a 72% effective field goal rate to the Pelicans last night. The Mavericks destroyed them 124-73 last time these teams faced, and they had some crazy shootouts in the playoffs last year. So I like those numbers better than the recent trend of, the Mavs have limited some worse offenses, but have not been good defending the 3 lately, giving up 14.5 triples per game. The Clippers are the best, or second best 3-point shooting team in the league. I'm not sure who pulls out the win here, but what I do like is attacking the over. And considering a Luka Kawhi kind of showdown where neither team is getting stops because those guys are just transcendent players.
Yeah, and I think that's what you're going to see the continuing trend for the Clippers, especially when you don't have Pat Bev, and then as you mentioned, Serge out tonight as well. We're talking offense, and I do think that you're going to continue to see those two stars for the Clips play on the second half of the back to back, especially with some other players missing. So yeah, I'm terrified of the spread that game earlier in the year that was about a 50-point blowout. The only game that might be weirder than that one was when the T Wolves beat up on the Pellies a couple nights ago by 30. Two flukiest games of the season. So I'm staying away from that total, but I would definitely hit the over if you're feeling it. A quick hit, Nate, another over if you're feeling it. The Bucks are taking on the Wizards in Washington. The Wiz score more points at home. They give up more points at home. They didn't even have Bradley Beal last time these teams played a few days ago, and that game still went over about 244. So just something to look at there if you like what you see from the Bucks and Wizards. So yeah, I don't know anything in that game you see for DFS purposes or anywhere else in the league.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. The last 6 meetings between those teams has gone over, and they are the first and third in terms of fastest pace since the All Star break in those short spans. So yeah, we'll definitely expect a back and forth game there. Love that pick. From a DFS perspective, Drew Holiday's price is exploitable in that he played 32 minutes when they played the Wizards last time out. So he can be gotten for a very cheap price there. If you want to go real cheap at point guard, Jordan Poole has 58 points for the Warriors his last 3 times out. At shooting guard, you can get Emmanuel Quickly in there real cheap. He's probable tonight to go through his injury, but D Rose and Elfrid Payton likely out. Karis LeVert, as we mentioned, I have no problem playing him in cash games despite the minutes limit. He's just 4.1K at FanDuel. That's a great bargain. Kyle Kuzma's still a bargain as he's basically the number 2 or 3 offensive option for the Lakers. And look at PJ Washington as well. He went for 42 points last time he faced Marvin Bagley and the Kings. Hopefully he doesn't let us down like he did the game after that.
Yeah. And just to add to that, I'm definitely going to spend the money on Luka tonight to go off against those Clippers and get in the lane kind of at will. And speaking of which, I did want to mention before we go, Nate, that is our game prop for today. The total in that Dallas Clippers game. Give us the total combined points of both teams. Make sure that you are liked and subscribed to the page, and then jump in those comments. Let us know what's up. That's all the time we have for today, Nate. As we mentioned, we will be back tomorrow with another nice full slate as the NBA continues to roll. Let us know what you think tonight in those comments, and happy betting.